the UA Code of Conduct. Whether you're in Tuscaloosa on this campus, or whether you're in Italy, you're still a UA student. Which means that all of the things that are in the Student Code of Conduct, has everybody read all of the Student Code of Conduct? I hear you take a fun little quiz online to test your knowledge of the Student Code of Conduct. You may want to familiarize yourself with that, because if you violate that, even if you're abroad, you are still held, once again, to the same consequences as if you were on this campus. So should something happen and you get into trouble, your faculty directors are there with you, they're going to know this. They're going to be reporting that to us or straight to judicial affairs. They are going to apply the same sanctions on you as if you were on this campus. So you would still have all of those things on your student record. I am told any violations on your student record stay on there for a total of 7 years, which means that that could affect future employment. That could also affect if you ever wanted to study abroad again and we saw that you were in trouble while you were abroad, we probably wouldn't let you go again. Behave. Once again, it's common sense sort of things. You know, you are going to want to experience the local culture, and some of that may be drinking the local wines or the local beers or whatever the case may be. But keep it in moderation, just like you should here, but especially there. We're not telling you not to go out and drink and not to go out and have fun, but you've got to keep that under control, because one, that could break one of their laws if you are drunken in the street, but then also that can follow you home. So don't think this is not one of those trips of what happens in Italy stays in Italy. It follows you home. So keep that definitely in mind. Once again, think about the fact that you are an ambassador of the University of Alabama. You're an ambassador of the state of Alabama. I don't know if you guys have heard, but we don't always have the best reputation. We don't want to perpetuate those stereotypes. You may possibly be the only American or the only Alabamian, whether you're from Alabama or not, you're going to be associated with Alabama, that these local Italians meet. Well, they've already got preconceived notions of what we're like in their head. Let's prove them wrong. One of the ways we can do that is by you know, doing things in moderation, not being loud and crazy. Like Susan said, one of the biggest ways and reasons that Americans are targeted for pickpockets and other violent type crimes overseas is because they're very obviously American. You're a tourist. One of the stereotypes that people have is Americans have a ton of money. They've got wallets that are loaded. I'm going to go get them. Well, if you've got a big target on you that says, yay, yes, I'm from Alabama, they're going to get them. It's like we're a target for some of these criminals. That's why it's important that you dress appropriately while you're there. It's okay to wear your Alabama gear, but I really wouldn't recommend it in large quantities. Don't deck out from head to toe. Baseball caps, I know guys, they're fun and cool when we wear them here, but that's not very common when you're overseas. Wearing gym shorts and t-shirts out on the streets, that's not something that they do a lot in Europe. So once again, all of those things are going to target you as an American citizen, as a tourist. Whether you have a lot of cash or not, it doesn't matter. They don't go, oh look, they're a college student, they must be broke, we're going to pass them up. They're saying, tourist, let me go get them. So just keep those things in mind. Like Susan said, you want to blend in. You want to also keep in mind that you are a tourist, but every day when you get on that subway, every day when you get on that bus, you're getting on with people who are just going to work, they're just going to school, they're just trying to go home. Let's not bother that. Let's not annoy those people. Let's just kind of blend in. Like I said, that is for, reasons of not perpetuating stereotypes, but for safety purposes as well. So that, once again, you don't target yourself for these sorts of crimes. I think that's about it for that kind of stuff. Like Susan said, you shouldn't have too much of an issue with any kind of cultural adjustment, not being there for very long, but just be aware of the cultural differences. When you go to restaurants, it's going to be different. We sit down at a restaurant, they're taking your drink order before your butt hits the seat and refilling your drink every time you take a sip. They're putting your check on the table before you finish your food, and that's what we're used to. If they don't do that, we don't tip them because that was bad service. It's not going to be like that in Italy. It's a lot more laid back. It's a lot more casual. They're going to sit and they're going to eat for quite a long time. There's not going to be somebody there all the time refilling that drink. Just have an open frame of mind as you go so that you don't get frustrated with that, so that you're not getting snappy with them and being that typical American while you're in that restaurant. Go ahead and prepare yourself for no ice in your drink, no free refills. When you ask for water, they'll bring a bottle and they'll charge you. If you know those things before you go, you'll have a lot better experience. You'll be able to kind of go with the flow while you're there, and you won't get quite so frustrated or upset about it. Should that happen though, and you find yourself kind of getting a little antsy about things and getting frustrated, certainly go talk to somebody about that. You don't want to kind of bottle that up. It could ruin the rest of your time abroad, or your roommate's time if you were being that antsy about it. So talk to somebody. Find somebody who's going through the same thing, or find somebody that looks like they're really having a great time and not struggling. Ask them, how are you handling this? What am I doing wrong with this? And be prepared that if you have some kind of culture shock or cultural adjustment phase, it's okay, it's perfectly normal. What you don't want to do is get depressed because you're going through this cultural shock and then have a horrible time while you're there. So don't be afraid to talk about it. I will tell you the worst thing you can possibly do if you get homesick is call home. I know that seems like it would be the best thing to do is to call mom and mom, I'm so tired and these people, they're slow with everything and I hate it here. And once again, your parents are going to freak out. They're going to want to come get their baby. And what they don't see is that 5 minutes after you made that phone call, somebody came in your room and said, hey, let's go do something fun. You're out of the room. You forgot that you were upset. Mama didn't see that. She's upset. But you're having a great time. And once again, they don't always know how to handle those situations. The best thing to do is just to go find. You have plenty of people that you know that are probably going through the same thing. Go find one of them. Go talk to them. Get out of your room. Don't stay cooped up in your room. Go explore the city. Go experience life while you're out there. What you may find when you get back, though, is that you had the absolute time of your life, and you want to go back, whether it's to one of the cities that you went to, you want to spend some more time there, or you want to explore somewhere else in Europe. That's what our office is for. And yes, it's a shameless plug, and I'm guilty, but that's okay. It keeps me in a job to send you people abroad. So come back and see us. Go abroad again. I mean, this may be, for some of you, a third or fourth time abroad, but it may be the first time you've ever left the country. Come back and see us. We can help you do this again so that you can get kind of a longer experience with this. Also use this experience when you get back. For some of you, it may be a life-changing experience, even if you're only there for a little while. You may find that you have a different outlook on life, on the world, and you certainly want to share that with other people. You're probably going to be really, really excited to tell everybody you know all of your stories 1,000,000 times. And those 1,000 pictures you took in 10 days, you're going to want to show everybody. And everybody's going to be really excited like the first 2 times you show up, and after that, they're going to be tired of it. So we are always wanting to see your pictures. They don't actually let me go anywhere, like this or otherwise. I like seeing your pictures and being jealous of you guys getting to go. So we want to see those. We have a photo and video contest every single year in November where you can submit pictures from your time abroad and win scholarship money. We post those in the Ferg and in the, I think, Ferg Gallery. We're going to have our winners up. So certainly submit all of those because we want to see the pictures that you have and the awesome time that you had while you were. Also don't want to do is actually carry your passport around with you once you get there. Once you get there, put it in a safe place, leave it in your room as you go throughout the day because you don't want that to get stolen. Carry some kind of photo ID, whether it's a driver's license or even your UAI card, so you have a photo, but we certainly don't recommend just carrying your passport with you on a day.
All the information about emergency contacts and all that, that'll all be in our handbook that we give you. You'll have the phone numbers of the GTAs and like we do, for MDB, when we're on a trip, you'll have a call list. You call this person first, and then, you know, all that will be in that handbook for you. The converter adapter thing for the electricity, know that you might need a converter as well as an adapter. You need to know if, like if you're using a hair, you don't need a hairdryer, there's hair dryers in the room, but if you use any kind of other electrical product for your hair or anything, you can't just plug that into the wall, it'll fry that appliance. So you need a converter and an adapter, okay? Right.
Personal experience, I left my straightener home with TV and I was a hunter, and it helped.
Yeah. It just won't work. So, like I know the Apple products, when we went in December, all the Apple products convert themselves, so all you need is an adapter if you're just going to charge your phone or whatever. But if it's a, you know, straightener, a flattener, a curling iron, a curler, or whatever, you're probably going to need a converter, all right? So make sure you don't forget that. I want to make sure you understand about this baggage and luggage thing. One suitcase you checked, and it's got to meet the size requirements. It's on listed for the airline, either Delta or Air France, and it has to be 50 pounds or under. And some are saying, well, I know, but I know I'm going to pay extra, but I've got to take 2 suitcases. You can't, because we have to plan for carrying your suitcases around Italy, right? We have to get them from Rome to the next city, and from the next city to the next city. We have a truck that's doing that, and it's been very carefully measured. Only 1 suitcase per person is going to fit, all right? So that's the other reason. Now, if that suitcase you take doesn't fit the requirements, you're responsible for paying when you check in and get your ticket for those charges. You have the potential of being charged 3 different fees for each piece of luggage. Now, here's the potential. You will be charged for the extra bag, no matter what. That's a guarantee. If that is oversized, then that's a separate fee. And then if that luggage is over 50 pounds, that's another fee. So that's 3 fees that you'll have to pay to take that extra bag. Now, realize in Atlanta, when we check in, you pay in dollars there. When we come back from Milan, those same charges will apply in euros coming back. And you're responsible for them both ways. So the smart thing to do is read all the information about how to survive 10 days with 1 suitcase that we sent you and posted and make it work. All right? Because you are responsible for that. We're not paying for that. You have to pay it or you don't get your ticket. Or well, you'll get the ticket, you just have to take it back. So, you know, just make sure you understand that. We will have a nurse with us on the trip. And then, you know, the nurse is for minor things, you know, and we'll go through again. We're going to have a meeting with everybody when we get to the hotel in Rome, and we'll make sure you know all that. But we will have a nurse with us on the trip. Also, brass players, you want to think about, if you're taking your instrument on the plane, you want to think about any kind of valve oil, slide grease, anything like that as liquids. So you want to think about that. They'll, you know, that instrument has to go through security, so they'll take those things if it doesn't meet the requirements. Know that it's very expensive to use your phone overseas. Even if you have an overseas plan, it's still very expensive. And so don't think, well, you know, if you tell somebody you're leaving, during free time I'm going here, and if you're a little bit late, well, I'll just call and let them know. Well, make sure you have an overseas plan A, because you can't just dial it and it work over there. It doesn't reach the tower in Tuscaloosa from the Milan. It's a little far away. So, you know, A, and B, realize it's going to cost you 20 or 30 bucks to make a minute call. So just be aware of those things.